you just mentioned how If I Ever Fall in Love album was put together in 2 weeks and they didn't have time to shop for outside producers. Um, so with the second album, Blackface, was there a shift in that dynamic? Were the expectations higher from Gasoline Alley MCA?
Well,
Or are they trying to?
by the second album, Gasoline Alley, which was actually a joint venture with MCA, because Randy Phillips, who was running Gasoline Alley, even though the label was small, power-wise, Randy Phillips represented he was serious. So he was able to do a joint venture with MCA, right? But he started this company called Red Ant. I think he was dissolving this side of the coin artist-wise. So we ended up moving directly onto MCA proper for Blackface's album. And we were kind of like orphans that kind of got put into a new, but they already had their homies like Jodeci and Mary J and people like that were already on MCA, and they had projects kind of coming out, and there was like a lot of turnover for the Black music department during that time, doing our project, like 3 different Black music presidents happened. You know what I'm saying? So there was no really affinity to the projects by either one of them, and they were scared to take on budgets, that might not do well. So they were just doing remixes galore, because the song had already been proven to be a hit. They'll do a remix and get their name on it, still be a hit. You know what I'm saying? It was big back then doing that. So we were kind of getting like lost in the shuffle when we got with MCA for Blackface album. But we definitely had creative control based on the fact that we renegotiated our deal through Shai with Flavor Unit. They were now our managers, Latifah's management company for Blackface. And we were allotted, we had a cool budget finally, and we were allotted the time to make this album. And we were growing up too at the same time. So the album started reflecting just growth and just having been through the industry and just, putting out what we felt was cool for what we was feeling,
Right.
And that's what we got. But, and it did moderately well at the time. I think in hindsight, a lot of people kind of dug it more, looking back on it than, at the time, because it was just a lot going on probably at the time. There was a lot of shifting of what music was being. Groups were now becoming kind of obsolete. It was heading to a direction, it was more hip hop, and the expression of hip hop and R&B coming together started looking much different than just a rapper on top of a track. What is somebody doing a hook? It was, you start seeing different ways of it being expressed, so this music was changing at that time. We were right at the cusp of that, you know what I mean? But yeah, if we could have got another, and then then Mark and Carl left the group at that point. So that kind of like made us, have to retool and figure things out, which we did.